Hello and welcome to Whatever Etc. number 22 for December the 19th, 2012. I'm Keith Wayne Brown. Thanks again for joining me for this podcast. I'm going to continue going forward with the notion of the loving struggle. First, in order to really get at the heart of what Karl Jaspers and his philosophy is talking about vis-a-vis the loving struggle or the loving contest, I need to define a term. And as a lot of you know, while I fall into utilizing $5 language very rarely, I do believe that it is necessary from time to time. This is one of the reasons we have language, is to be able to communicate with each other as clearly as possible, but also to put forward some concepts that help us in that communication. In trying to go forward with the loving struggle, one of the things that needs to be highlighted is a term called existenz. Existenz. Now, Karl Jaspers makes existenz one of the central notions of his philosophizing. In fact, what he wants to say is that in our singularity, in the fullness of our own most authentic being, in our being, in each of us being something singular that is unlike anything else, that this unlike anything elseness, this singularity, is our possible existence. That is, that the full breadth of our possibility is how we stand out in a way that no other entity stands out. Now, this can lead to some interesting notions. It's one of the basic ideas behind most existential philosophy. I want to be very careful here, however, in talking about the singularity of every possible existence, to not get hung up on individualism or things like that. We're not talking about the unique individual. We're talking about a singular expression of being that grows and changes and evolves and becomes what it is in its utmost possibilities. So, really, when we're talking about the loving struggle and about this genuine condition, this boundary situation of struggle, we're talking about how we reveal our own most existenz, our own most singularity, our authentic self-actualization, not only to ourselves, but to those others with whom we engage. So this loving struggle that cannot be about violence, that brings struggle out of the realm of reducing it to violence, to win at all costs, of bringing struggle into the fullness of progression and the fullness of evolution. It requires us then to see the loving struggle as getting back to the very source of our being, which is our possible existence, which is the possibility of our own self-actualization. And this seeking the source in our self-actualization is about how we come to make free, unattached decisions. So where I'll be going over the course of the next few days as I continue to try to unpack this notion of the loving struggle and of the loving struggle as being between two people or few people who are trying to show their own self-actualization to others. This will be the real challenge, right? Because I am, on the one hand, trying to describe what we do in the loving struggle, But on the other hand, I'm trying to participate in the loving struggle, and in doing that, I can't sit here and act like the expert on a higher plane. I have to really sort of be talking in terms of how there can be this one-on-one communication between two possible Existenzen, that's Existenzen is the plural of the German. How there can be any opportunity for self-disclosure and self-actualization. So what this requires then is understanding a kind of solidarity. It presupposes a kind of solidarity that each of us can enter into in trying to disclose or reveal the possibility of our existence. Here, there needs to be a moment of faith. There needs to be a notion of trusting that there is a possibility, singular possibility in each one of us. It may be difficult to show it, it may be difficult to find it, but that every one of us has this ability to make a free decision, that we can take this ability and turn it into a real capability to achieve to a kind of existential letting go, to a kind of transcendent enlightenment of our own selves. But it requires a solidarity with each other. When I move forward in trying to communicate with you, not on a higher level, but on a level of equal footing, I am trying to not get you to offer me recognition, and I am not trying to offer you recognition. We already assume in that faith that each of us has something singular, his or her own. We recognize in the solidarity of that seeking after each other's singularity that we do not move forward by routine recognition, that we are not looking to be recognized for being a singular existence. We are looking to recognize that we are singular existence, that we are capable of a possible self-actualization. So this is not really about a struggle as the violent struggle would be, about securing my place, securing my future, securing my welfare. It's not about guaranteeing my rights or guaranteeing my liberties. It's not about, as Jaspers would say, achieving to a satisfaction of the needs of prestige in the social self. In this existential contact of solidarity, we are not seeking after visible metrics. We're not seeking after the things that can visibly be measured and quantified. Again, in giving up force, we're giving up all of the things that we would visually utilize to ensure the recognition of ourselves. There can be no plea. There can be no bargaining on this. We have to come to each other in solidarity, in equality. Now, we may recognize in the other existence, we may recognize in the other person that they have a level of experience that we don't have. But it's that very level of experience that then shows us something more about ourselves and about the possibility and the opportunity of our self-actualization. So in that solidarity, we don't subordinate ourselves to the other, and we don't lord over the other. We don't dominate the other. As an everyday person in vital life, yes, we're gonna seek after recognitions. We're gonna seek after guarantees. We're gonna seek after securities. But there's essentially a need to embrace the uncertainty and insecurity that comes from entering into solidarity. Oddly enough, you would think we enter into solidarity in order to be more secure. But this is the solidarity that comes about in guaranteeing the rights and liberties of the political animal, or the family member, or the person in the contractual relationship of marriage, or of being an employee-employer. Rather, the solidarity, existential solidarity, means that I am affirming this loving struggle as one that goes to a depth that does not care about superficial satisfactions and guarantees. It's going to shake up a lot of what we hold dear in trying to be careful, and trying to be secure, and trying to be free of bother and worry. Obviously, we would prefer to be sheltered in some kind of a quiet love, but we are still talking about struggle. It is the loving struggle, but we're still talking about struggle. We're not talking about the quietude of transcendence. We're talking about how we open ourselves up to be with another, and we love that person, but it is not a quiet love. There may be moments and times where things are shaken up, where we have to let go of some presupposition or assumption that has made our lives relatively secure. But if we will achieve full self-actualization, or the possibility of full self-actualization, we have to be willing to give up that level of security. This is what it means to care, to cure. To cure, secure, the person who is secure is without care. In existential communication, existenz to existenz, we are fully immersed in care. We are fully immersed in the attempt to cure or to heal ourselves. So this is not about security. This loving struggle is about being willing in solidarity to take faith that our own self-actualization comes in opening ourselves up to others who would be self-actualized. I'm going to continue forward tomorrow with some more ideas on this, some more communicative notions, get a little more into this deeper issue that we are not in this moment of struggle accomplishing quietude, right? It's a give and it's a take in this particular boundary situation. But at the same time, what I want to highlight tomorrow is how that communicative struggle, which is existential, is not about rational force of argument, right? Or is it about some sort of pure rationality or reasonableness, right? That gets us back into the realm of security. That gets us back into the realm of satisfaction. And one thing that we really need to highlight in the loving struggle is that life is uncertain and it's not necessarily satisfying. And that part of the possibility, part of the opportunity, part of the full breadth power of being a singular, self-actualizing existenz is that we are willing to let go and give ourselves over to the uncertainty of being. So there I'm going to stop, and I'll pick it back up again tomorrow. I want to thank everyone who texted me yesterday on Facebook, private messaged me, and let me know how excited you were that I'd gotten back into the podcast. This is a lot of fun for me, and it's a way for me to get my thinking out of myself, but also to open myself up to you. So let's lovingly struggle together in a solidarity for our own self-actualization. I welcome your comments, your questions. Again, it's the struggle. It's not quietude. But it's not war, it's not violence, it's the loving struggle. So struggle with me. Tranquilitas et bonum vobiscum. Peace, tranquility, goodness be with you. Until next time. Bye-bye.